I kind of picked the worst day of the week to film this video. It looks like it's about to rain outside, which kind of makes the lighting a little bit weird, but at the same time, it does kind of make it feel a little bit cozier. So the plan for today's video is I wanted to do a Q&A on this whole renovation for the family room. This has been a long time coming. This project started at the very beginning of January, I think literally January 1st. We are now in June. It's been a long time. I did not film the whole process, so I decided to go on Instagram and just do a Q&A. So I opened up a question box and I had you guys ask all the questions you had about the renovation. So that's what we're going to get into. I did film a little bit of the renovation, so I will be just inserting some clips while I explain this, but for the most part it will just be me explaining the whole process. I'm just going to be reading some of the questions that I got here on Instagram. They're obviously kind of all over the place, so I'm going to try my best to keep them in some kind of order so this makes sense. So with that being said, question number 1 is, did you have inspiration for this makeover or did you come up with a design on your own? So this was 100% inspired by Catherine's home. Her Instagram handle is Life at the Muse. I will have it linked right here. She lives in Yorkshire, England, and her home is a few hundred years old. But as far as the fireplace design, that was 100% inspired by her home. Now, as far as the sorry if you can hear my dog running around. As far as the right side of the fireplace, I did want to have logs stacked right here. I like the look of logs beside a fireplace, but they also serve a purpose, obviously, because they have a wood burning stove. So we have the logs stacked right there. And then on the other side of that is this little closet. I did have a couple questions about what's behind that little door. So when we first moved here, one of the first things we did was knock out all of the walls in the kitchen, and there was a big hall closet there. Since then, we've never had a hall closet, and I have missed having a place to store shoes and coats and backpacks and all that stuff. So I did have a little closet specifically for that. My kids' shoes are here, and obviously it's summer now, so they don't need their backpacks, but their backpacks will hang here, their coats. So that is kind of what this little closet's for. And then obviously over here on the left side of the fireplace is this little nook area, which I will get into in just a minute. Next question is that a real or faux beam? This is definitely a real beam, and there's kind of a cool backstory to it. So I got it in Park City, but it was transported here from Ohio, and it's a beam that was part of an old Amish farm back in the 1800s. So it's very, very old. I do love the history behind it. I think that's just really cool. And it was, I believe it's 20 feet long. It was definitely one of the pricier things that I bought, but it was really important for me to have a real beam on top of the mantle. When it came to picking out the beam, I was there for a few hours because I wanted it to be like the most distressed, old, broken looking beam that I could find, and this one worked perfectly. So I was looking for one that would reach wall to wall. If I remember right, it's pretty thick. I'm pretty sure when you're looking at it, you can see it's about 10 inches tall, but like underneath it, I believe was 14 inches. So it is a very thick and heavy beam, and it was actually quite the story on how Thomas actually got it into the house. He did it completely by himself with a couple dollies, and then we did not film him installing it because, I'm sorry, my dog is doing zoomies right here. I did not film the process of him installing it because it was probably the most dangerous way you could install a beam. He did have, what are those straps called? He had straps around it, and it was hooked to the beam up above me. And then he had car jacks, but they're like really tall. I'm not even sure how he did this. Car jacks, and he was like jacking it up on both sides, and then would use his own strength to like nudge it up over the top of the fireplace. It was crazy. Anyway, that was exciting to see the beam go in. I was very excited once that happened because I could kind of really start to see it. Now, I do remember getting a question of how do you kind of come up with the whole process of the design? And for me, I always start with, I usually have at least like one idea. So for this project, it was the fireplace. I knew this is the exact fireplace that I want, and I want the beam across the top. And as far as what we were gonna do on the top and the sides, I kind of figured that out as we're going. And so once this was done, I thought, okay, now I think I want a few cabinets over here. I want at least one shelf, and I want to do some stone and some mortar, but I do have to kind of see it start to unfold and see it come together before I can design more, if that makes sense. So I always start with one idea that I definitely want, and then I kind of just go off of that. Next question is, did you take the fireplace out or build it forward? So this is a good question. The first step actually was I wanted the hole, like the opening of the fireplace, to be bigger. Dang it. I am not the best at starting fires, and clearly they keep going out. But anyway, I had Thomas actually remove some of the bricks, as many bricks as we could. But once, I think we were only able to do 2 layers of brick. And then we hit, I don't remember, I don't know what it's called, but that's as wide as we could make the opening. So we made the opening as wide as we could, and that was really because of the insert of the wood burning stove. So I needed it obviously to be big enough to fit the stove. Here is Ruby. I don't know if I've introduced you guys to her. So she's our newest little pup, and she sees the kids playing outside, so she's not very happy about that. What are you doing? Yeah, Ruby Sue. All right, so the first step was knocking out some of the bricks to make it a little bit more open. And then he just kind of framed it out to make this flat, because if you remember, which I'll show you right here, the fireplace had 2 different levels to it, so it kind of stuck out weird, and it was also not centered with the room. He just framed it out to make it centered with the room, and then made it flat, obviously, made the opening bigger, and then now going off of that, he had something to stick the stones to. And then as far as above the beam, he just framed it out just to make it flush with the beam, and that was, I don't know, that was kind of the idea with that. And then kind of going off of that, I did have a couple questions about the windows, because there were 2 little triangle windows that were on the top portion of the family room, and I had a lot of people asking if I will miss them. I still have 7 windows in this room, so no, I will not miss them. And if I ever want them back, they are still there. They are just hidden behind sheetrock. So yes, this is permanent, but I always do things in a way that if I changed my mind, I could uncover the windows if I wanted to have those back, but I do not miss them. I actually feel like the room feels a lot more cozy in here without having any windows on this front wall. I still, again, I have 2 giant windows. It's basically this entire wall is a window. And then this entire wall is a window. There's a sliding door with 2 other windows, and then 2 windows on top. So again, I have windows for days in this room. I don't need any more windows. Okay, lots of questions about the stones. Lots of people asking, is that real stone? What kind of stone is it? Is it faux? And I know you guys are asking because in the past I have done a lot of projects with faux stone that actually look pretty real. But no, this is all real. The stone that's on the fireplace, like all of the little stone, is limestone, and it was tumbled to give it more rounded edges. And that was kind of what I was going for, the look of that. So if you're looking for this specific stone, again, it was limestone. I did go with a darker color, and then it was tumbled to make those edges a little bit more round. Now this header right here was actually a headstone. I'm pretty sure that's what this was sold as, but we did chip it up a little bit on the sides. So yeah, the header was actually like made to be a headstone, which is kind of funny. And then the 2, if you're looking right here behind me, these 2 large stones, there's obviously 2 on this side as well. Those are landscaping stones, and so they are just standing on top of each other. And Thomas used brackets to secure them to the framing, and then also obviously grouted. Like those are definitely sturdy. They're not going anywhere. And then as far as the hearth, I don't know if I'm even saying that right. Is it hearth? Is it hearth? I don't know. But the base of the fireplace, I picked out 2 gigantic landscaping stones, and I had Thomas break them into a few pieces and then puzzle them together to give them this look. The next question was about cost. This was definitely one of the most expensive renovations I've ever done, because you guys know on my channel I'm always trying to do things as inexpensive as possible. A lot of the time I'm using faux material, but when it came to this renovation, I wanted everything to be real. If you were to step into this living room, I wanted you to feel like you were actually in an English cottage. And so if everything was fake or the materials you could just tell were really cheap, you know, it wouldn't give that same vibe. So I wanted everything to be real. And so that is why it was a little pricey. Now, when we're talking stones and beams, they go off of weight. And this stuff weighed a lot. I would still say that this project was under $5,000, which again, I know that's a lot. Maybe for some of you, you thought it was going to be a lot more than that, but because this was 100% DIY, there was no hiring out for help, that would have added a lot more. So this could have been a very, very expensive project if we were hiring out for everything, or even just help getting it into the house, because again, each stone weighed so much. Like these landscaping stones were a few hundred pounds. I have no idea how he was able to do this, but he just kind of muscled them up and installed them. So you guys already know I had nothing to do with any of the project itself, only the design, and if whatever I can do, I helped a little bit with the grout and painting, but other than that, Thomas did 100% of the work. Another question is, where is your TV? So because this fireplace now is so tall, I believe the TV would have to be like 8 or 9 feet up above the mantle. I mean, that's like how high it would be, and I don't want to be breaking my neck watching a movie. So I actually have this rolling cart that I thrifted years ago. I found this at the DI. It's a thrift store in Utah, and painted it. It actually needs another paint job. It looks really bad because it's been sitting on my porch for a long time. But I decided to just have the TV on top of that. It's installed on the back side, so we just kind of roll it around. If the kids want to watch a movie, I can just really move it wherever I want, and it's very, very convenient. So I actually prefer how the whole living room looks right now. And again, I just kind of wheel the TV in and out depending on if we're watching a movie or if I want to just kind of slide it to the side and just have the family room looking like this. That's where the TV is. We still have the TV. It's just, it can kind of be wherever it wants to be. Another question was, where is the coffee table from? This was actually a DIY project years ago. I have a video, so I will have that linked below. And I believe this coffee table cost under $50 to build. It looks really great. I love, again, the old distressed looking materials, and I love how this looks still. Also had questions about the lilacs. So when I did my reel, that's probably how most of you saw this renovation, was through that reel. And at the time, they were real lilacs because they were in bloom, but you know, those only last like 2 weeks. So people were asking for links. I do not have links for the real lilacs, but I do have some faux ones here sitting here right now, and they are from Michael's and A Floral. I kind of mixed 2 different ones together, again, to make it look more realistic. If there's 2 different color tones going, that makes the lilacs look better. So I will have those linked for you guys below. Another question about the chairs. These were from Wayfair. I'm obsessed with them. I think they're just really, really cute. And I'm pretty sure these are still on sale. Again, I will have them linked below. And they do have different colors. This one is like the brown, it's like the tan with the brown. I'm pretty sure it's brown. I will make sure I have the right color linked, but they have blue, they have light blue, yellow, I believe. There's tons of variety of these chairs, so they're really, really cute. And then now let's talk about this nook area. I had a lot of questions on this. So it's technically still not done, but I was not gonna wait because I knew if I just kept putting it off, then this video would take forever to get out. So I still need to pick a stain color for the countertop, and I need to paint the knobs, and I need to paint the base. I don't even know, what is that? The baseboard? I need to paint that as well. So I still have a couple things I gotta get to, but what I wanted over here is it's actually the same limestone. There's a few pieces of stone underneath here, and then it's just really overgrouted. In fact, this is mortar. I'm pretty sure that's what we used, was mortar. And it's the same kind of idea as we did in the kitchen. So if you watch that video, I will have that video linked below, where the whole backsplash of my kitchen is some stones with mortar covering the top of them. So if you want to see an in detail, I don't know, like explanation or tutorial on how to get that look, you can watch that video. For the cabinets, these are just the cheapest cabinets you can get at either Home Depot or Lowe's, and they are upper cabinets because of the depth of them. Now you could get the bottom cabinets, but cut the back side off. This actually just fit perfectly. Once I measured right here, I thought, okay, 3 small cabinets would fit perfect right here. And so that's just kind of how it worked out. So that's why we picked 3 right there. So 3 upper cabinets, and then built it up a little bit, put the baseboard right there, and that's how this whole cute little nook area came to be. I'm pretty sure I covered just about all of the questions. There was a lot of the same questions. I'm hoping I got to every single one of them. So I hope that this explanation kind of helped if you are looking to do something similar to this. Now, I did get a lot, probably more than anything, a lot of not questions, but just people saying how excited they are to see this decorated for the fall and for Christmas. And you guys already know that's obviously what I'm the most excited for too. In fact, the next video I'm about to film this week is my patriotic decorate with me video, and I have some ideas for this room, so I'm really excited. But I'm pretty sure that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that I have not been on YouTube much this year. There's a lot going on. We'll talk about this another time. There's a lot going on in my life. And I'm pretty sure this is the 4th video that I've put out for the year, which is not the best, you guys. We're sitting here in June, and I used to do 2 videos a week. So I'm sorry if any of you are a little upset about that. I'm trying my best to get the ball rolling and to get back to my regular schedule. So hopefully I can get on there soon. But yeah, I have a couple videos lined up to post. I still need to be posting my porch video, but I am excited to start with some decorate with me videos. So stay tuned for some of those. And thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time.